y'all. Hey, we are live. We are live. Y'all see my intro?
That was so cute.
I like that.
So
I really like that. That was cute. Period. Okay,
looking good.
we
Come
right.
on, podcast.
Man, listen. Shout out to Tone. Shout out to Tone. I don't know where the claps are right here.
Oh, that's the sound effect.
We just go. That's how I feel. That's a hey, period. And the period. Hello. It is what is today? June the it's not the 4th.
Is it?
It's the 3rd.
The third?
It's the 3rd.
Oh, it is the 3rd.
Today is June the
future.
3rd. It is summer. It is officially, well, not officially summertime, but I think it's like it's almost there. It's almost there. Officially summertime. Y'all know what happens in the summertime. Things get hot. Things get nice.
Turn up.
You know what they say, women start dressing less.
Yep.
You know, it's sundress season. I got my favorite dress on today. I absolutely love this dress. However, so with that being said, there's a lot of talk around this particular time in regards to rosters.
Wow.
There is a lot of talk about building a roster. Now, when we talk about building a roster, let me see. When we talk about building a roster, we want to talk about, or let me see, what are we talking about when we talking about building a roster? The anticipation is that when the season, I guess you can call it, you know, like with Bridgerton, I guess summer is the season,
right.
You know, yeah. And so, you know, when you narrow down that roster, and I guess, you know, it's supposed to be this, I'm going to have a relationship, you know, one of these people, whether it be men or women, we're going to have this relationship, and that's what it's going to end up being. Sometimes I think it's done right, and sometimes I think it's done wrong. Who knows? I think I may have done it right. I may have done it wrong sometime, because at the end of the day, you know, I am still single. Tiff, what you think about building a roster?
So, okay, you know how we talk about dating multiple people, you know, that's often a conversation that we have. And I think that people don't really understand what that means, or the dynamic of that, really. You know what I mean? So when you build your roster, you know, the roster, they don't even have to know about each other.
Right.
You know, and you can have multiple people that you are entertaining, that you are piquing their interest, you know, just enjoying yourself, enjoying your time with people, making friends, mingling with people, and seeing your compatibility with them.
Right. And I think that's what it should be. It definitely should be a time when you are, because I think that, well, let's talk about dating.
Okay.
Let's talk about dating. Let's do that first. Because I think that a lot of times in society, or even not just with society, but I think with us, you know, in our community, we really don't know how to date. We really don't know how to date. I think that, you know, there's been not too many dates. You know, I've been, oh, I'm gonna take you on a date. I'm still waiting on those dates. Still waiting, you know. But I think that it's from both sides. Number one, how do you feel? And we talk about this a lot. Like when it comes down to who should shoot the shot.
Come on.
Because we just recently kind of had a conversation in regards to that, and we wanted to know, and I wanted to, I be wanting to have guys on, and I think that sometimes the guys, they don't want to come on, but they want to, you know, so I tagged them, you know, I tagged a couple of fellas, you know, because I do want to get a male's perspective. Like, I like hearing from males. So like when I have my, you know, I want to have a Father's Day show. When I have my Father's Day show, I want to get some men. Like, I don't want no women. But anyway, but what do you think about first off, who should shoot the shot? Hey, Jazz.
Okay, so I do not believe in women shooting shots. I have said, I've stated my stance on this. I do not believe in women shooting shots. Now we can show we're interested, right? There's an art and a science to kind of like maybe kind of let them know they're interested. But if they don't pick it up, you know what I mean? That's too bad. But
okay,
I feel like women shooting the shots, like letting a guy know, hey, I'm interested, I like you. That's dangerous for the dynamic of the relationship. I feel like because the man is supposed to be the pursuer. I feel like he's supposed to see what he wants, and then he puts in the energy to go get it. And that sets up the dynamic of the relationship, how they spoil us, how they cater to us during the relationship. When we go after them, I feel like personally, they're just agreeing to
just because they don't want to hurt you.
Exactly. That's how I feel about that.
Well, I mean, okay, so this is my take on it. Because then I've said this multiple times. I have no problem with showing my interest. I have no problem with saying to a man, hey, I think you nice looking. I think you sexy. Whichever way I want to come at that man. I have no problem with doing that. And I don't think that it takes away from their role or their their dominance in said whatever it is that that's going to take place afterwards. Because for me, I shoot it and then I sit back, and because I think that regardless if you're showing your interest or shooting a shot, it's really the same thing when you look at it, because that man per se. So okay, so here's the thing. If I say I'm interested in you, that man either has a yes or no. I'm a big girl. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it's never I've never tanked. I don't know if that's the word, but I've never shot a brick. But I haven't done it very often. You know, okay. I'll say that too. Like, I'm not just out here like, yeah, like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like you, boy. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Like, I'm very careful in what shot I take. I'm always it's always calculated. Because if I shoot my shot, that means that I felt that there was something. Okay. You see what I'm saying?
So that's what I was just gonna ask. So are you more likely to shoot a shot if you feel like he's kind of flirty a little bit already? Or would you shoot a cold shot? Like, dang, he cute.
Man, if the man is fine, I don't know. I really like I don't. I don't know. That's kind of crazy. I don't know, because I really I think if they look at me,
they kind of like, okay,
you know what I'm saying? Okay. You know, so it's like, and it's not that in a conceited way. It's just that I know, what I exude.
Okay.
So and I know that, but then again, I would be probably a little shy. I am, just a little shy. Like I said, I shoot my shot and then I sit back and I watch, and if there's a mutual interest, then I continue on. I don't have a problem with letting someone know, I'm thinking about you, but then there's also that time point where I'm like, oh, it's been, and I never want to get to that point again. Where I'm like, it's been 2 hours and you ain't text me back, and why you ain't text me back? Like, I never want to get to that point again, because then I feel like I'm wasting too much of my time worried about what somebody else is doing. Okay. You know what I'm saying? So then after you've shot your shot, and we got a couple people watching, if you can definitely chime in. I definitely welcome it. But when we talk about, and you said something also, with asserting the dominance and the spoiling and things like that. So that goes twofold though. So are you not going to, because there are some women also that say, I'm not spending money on a man. I'm not doing anything for a man. There was a question in regards to whether you would send, I've been seeing this floating around, whether you would send a guy money for a haircut.
Seen those. So no, it's not really like, see, okay.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm like this because I've been in positions where maybe I did make the first move and maybe they were gauging, the vibe, and perhaps there wasn't a compatibility or whatever, but maybe they continue to entertain, right? And so I'm the type to where, okay, I have to be careful because I love so much, and I love to take care of people, and I love to just give and whatever. I have to make sure that this person deserves it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's not necessarily as cut and dry as, okay, you got to give me something and I'm gonna give you something. It's not really like that. But if I can, because see, when I really, really like them, look, it takes everything in me not to be bringing lunch to your job and all kind of stuff.
And I think that is the problem. That is the hurdle when it comes down to, and I don't want to, separate it and just say, that is the problem with women or that is the problem with men, because I think that a lot of us are so hurt and we've been through so much to where we literally are. Everybody's has these brick walls that's just built. So, you could just think of, men and women standing in line, and in between that line of them, there's a brick wall. And that is literally what dating feels like. That is literally what being with someone feels like. It feels like a brick wall that you're trying to literally just get over. And it's like, okay, well, I don't want to do too much.
Right.
I don't want to do too much too soon. And then it's like, I want to, and then it's like, I want to make sure that he likes me like that,
Exactly.
and it's like, why are we like this?
We're so guarded. And I think it comes from dealing with the wrong people too, because a lot of times when we want that love or we want that, reciprocation so bad, it's like, we attach ourselves to people to where, this isn't even the person that is that we're supposed to be aligned with, know? And you hear a lot of people who have this negative viewpoint on love, but they've never even been in love. So love didn't hurt you technically, know? So they're running from something that is not. So we have these guards up from our past experiences, and we have these, perspectives and these vantage points that have been built from an alternative, aspect. Like this wasn't even what was, this wasn't even love in the first place.
Right. And that's something interesting that you did say when you said that you haven't even been in love, and I think part of that is reality TV, to blame. I think that we look at a lot of reality TV, we look at a lot of social media, and you have a lot of people that are saying, if you do this, you a simp. Or women, if you do this for a man, you weak, or you stupid, or you know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's nobody that's literally just saying, I'm just gonna do me. I'm gonna, if I like this person, I'm gonna like this person. I could like a person and I'm the same way as you, where, I listen, I am, if I like you,
listen, you got to hold me back.
Yeah, you got to hold me back. You know what I'm saying? And like Seriously. You said, and that is definitely the you have to be careful. And I saw something else today where it said, we just everybody just out here just hurt, and hurt people is just hurting people all over the place. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? So I think that when we think about the roster, or who we're dealing with, or who we have to make sure that we're setting expectations. And I think that this is, a lot of people will laugh and they'll be like, oh, you talking about rosters and this is red flag. And it's like, no, it's not a red flag, because there are really some people that are out here that are really interested in finding somebody for them. You know what I'm saying? Like, I once, and I was just talking to Tone about this. Like, I once felt a certain way as, do I really want a relationship right now? I don't think I want a relationship per se.
Okay.
However, I would love, just the, and I can't say the word. I'm like halfway, like slow. Exclusivity. Exclusivity. Sometimes if I don't think about it, I could just say it. But anyway. Hey, Tan. But like, I think that I would love that. You know what I'm saying? I would love to know that there's somebody that you really, regardless of a relationship or a title, you really don't have any eyes for anybody else. And you're not just trying to stick your penis anywhere.
Oh my.
What?
I just said, oh my.
I'm just saying, because I'm not trying to throw this thing back everywhere. You know what I'm saying?
For real.
It's because it's dangerous.
Yeah, it is.
It's dangerous.
It's energy exchange. You can't just, and everybody don't deserve you. Everybody don't deserve a piece of you.
Exactly. Exactly. And then my thing is that, just like I had somebody tell me, oh, I know my worth. And I sat and I looked at them and I said, and then I had to think about it and I said, well, I know mine. And I know where the value, and I know that that's like kind of hard. Like you like, oh, well, what is you worth? Well, how much is you? Still ain't got nothing. What is you worth? What is your value? Blah, 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 blah. Oh, you shouldn't put a value on you, or whatever the case may be. And I don't think it's more so about you putting a dollar amount or a value, or even when people say, oh, what do you bring to the table? I don't necessarily like that.
I don't think nobody does.
I
don't think nobody does.
Yeah. And I think people just say it just to be saying it. You know what I'm saying? Just because, again, it's that thing.
Yeah, buzzword.
It's the buzzword. It's the trend word. Just like everybody's saying, oh, this person is a narcissist.
Toxic.
Toxic and, all of that type of stuff. When at the end of the day, I mean, we kind of put ourselves in those toxic situations.
We do. We definitely do. And we stay too long.
Yes.
We definitely do.
Yes. We stay too long. And then I think, okay, so, and I put up a post and I said, let me go back to this because I want to talk about it. Like that's one of the things that I really wanted to talk about. And I said that I put up boundaries. Hold on. It says, and I get this from the I Am Affirmations app. And it says, I enforce boundaries gently but firmly.
I like that.
And somebody said, and I captioned it and I said, because I'm a lady. I don't feel that as a woman that I have to be so hard in saying, leave me alone, or that I have to be so hard in enforcing my boundaries. Somebody said, well, people don't take you being nice. And my response, and I was busy, I had a busy work day or whatever. And I kept typing and I'm like, oh, but I'm supposed to be working, but I'm supposed to be working. But my response to that was, if you're setting boundaries and you get to the point where somebody is not respecting the boundary that you've set, I think you really have to sit and think about, am I actually respecting my own boundaries?
Exactly. Because it's like you can't make yourself unhappy to make someone else happy.
Mm-hmm.
So if you're crossing your own boundaries to make someone else happy, you're ultimately disrespecting yourself.
Mm-hmm.
And if you can't respect yourself,
mm-hmm.
then you can't respect other people. It goes hand in hand.
Exactly. And I think that as you Because anybody that I've really had to firmly set a boundary with, it did not have to get nasty. Well, I did. You know what? There was one person that I kind of had to get nasty with. But that was because he kind of interrupted my space where my children are. So in that moment,
mother bear mode.
That's that don't get it twisted side. Don't come to my house. Don't come where I reside. Don't try to step foot in my house. Right. Where my kids are, like that type of thing. I don't play games like that. But I think every other time that I really had to set boundaries, it's because then at that point it's up to you. It's not up to that person, because if I decide I'm gonna stop dealing with Tone, and we friends, let me just make that clear, because Lord have mercy,
people,
child. I knew it. You ain't no shit.
We be the last two people you would assume, first of all.
But if I decide that I didn't want to deal with Tone no more for whatever reason, and I'm steady like, he need to leave me alone, he need to well, you didn't set the boundary right. You see what I'm saying? You didn't set the boundary right. You're still answering his calls. You're still texting him. You probably even going over for a little melee and get cracked. Who knows?
Oh my.
And that's something that we do. Like I tend to do that sometimes. That is my toxic trait. I will. One more for the go round. Just so that you can know that you wasn't really done.
See, I had to.
That's childish. I'm working on myself.
I used to do that too, so don't feel bad.
Where I had to stop. I had to cut people off. I had a problem with, cutting off my exes. I'll be real. So like we break up, okay, and my breakups were never malicious. It was never like, oh, you did this, the unforgivable, and now like we can never speak again. It was always like, okay, we probably just shouldn't be together. We're not really
right,
so but we had some good times, so we still cool or whatever. And then it was like, we still cool, we still link every once in a while for whatever. And and so I got to a point probably within the last maybe 6 to 7 months where I was like, I need to cut these people off. Like the energy became very draining. I felt like I was holding on to people that I should have let go. I feel like just holding on to just old memories and old stuff and old energy. It was just, and then you can't figure out why you can't move forward and why you can't meet new people and why you can't elevate, and you just hold on to all these old people and all this old, stuff. And so it just became really junky. And I had to realize like, okay, you know what? Let go of these people. Learn how to cut people off. Respectfully. You're still cordial. If you see them somewhere, it's hello.
It's no drama.
Exactly. But I had to get to a point where I stopped giving my for real energy to people who it should be done, And
you know what? And that is so
common, believe it or not.
Yeah.
It is. It's very common. There are a lot of people right now who are 2-3 kids in with the same guy or girl, sexuality spectrum, but there's somebody they should have left alone the very first time.
Right.
The signs were always there. Then they'll get to that point where it's like, oh, I'm 29 years old with 2 kids. Nobody's going to want me. I might as well keep dealing with this person here. Or the ex had a lot of good things about them, but then there was these few things that, maybe with a little bit of maturity, they'll go away. So I'll keep dealing with you until you fix these. Then you'll be the perfect person for me. And you're still hanging around waiting for those changes to make.
Yep. You still got them rose-colored glasses.
You still got waiting for them changes to make. Women, and I hate to say this to y'all, but y'all were notorious for a very long time of dating for potential.
That's true.
And but wait a minute. Let him finish, because this is a man who was saying this. And I am 100% guilty of this.
Yeah, all of y'all are.
Me too.
All of y'all done that. All of y'all have found that one guy who, well, you don't act like these guys over here. So I'm just going to be around because you are raised as women to be the support system for the guy. So if he has certain things that would be favorable for you, y'all tend to kind of stick around for that.
Yeah.
Now, somewhere in between society, that potential turned into good dick. If he got good dick, I don't care what you got going on over here. You're going to get it when you get it. Just keep giving me the dick that I'm accustomed to, and I'm cool. We don't even have to be in a relationship. Just keep giving me the sex. Keep giving me the dick, and I'll go ahead and say, oh, I'm pregnant by him. Well, he's already giving me the good dick, so I keep him around, not realizing that pregnancy changed the whole game.
Yep.
Changed
that
the whole.
That wasn't what it was supposed to be.
It wasn't supposed to be that. So now the pregnancy is either you're going to realize that he ain't no good. You ain't the only one, or you should have left him alone a long time ago. You'll find out later, ladies, that as good as dick is, there's more dick out there.
Well, can I respond to that though?
Go right ahead.
So, and I do know that dating for potential is something that we as women struggle with, right?
Right.
Yes, that is something that we need to that needs to be tweaked and reflected on so that it's not toxic and so that it's it doesn't become a negative thing, right? At the same time though, is that all bad that we see the best in y'all?
It's not all bad, but where a lot of people make mistakes at is you don't communicate how you want them to get better.
Absolutely. And I think that's the point, is that as women, we see the man's potential, which is wonderful. But then we get stuck in a mold where and some of us do, but we're so very nurturing that we then end up becoming so whatever is holding them back, we start to kind of just, it's okay. So now we're nurturing, and we now being like a mama. You know what I'm saying? Because we're not saying to them, okay, babe, you know what I'm saying? Like, this is what we lack and this is what we need to do. Blase, skip, da. Now, on the flip side and the flip token of that, I have also been on both sides. I've been on the side where I'm pushing you, and there's no movement. But then because I love you so much, I can't just go. You see what I'm saying? And
history is going to be the downfall of 90% of the black women.
Say that again.
History will be the downfall of 97% of the black women.
Okay.
You will allow what you've been through, the trauma bonds you have developed, the familiarity, the safeness, I don't want to start all over. Ladies, black women specifically, and this is not me being like mean to y'all. This is actually me talking, because I'm around women all the time, specifically black women. Y'all tend to allow that history to make y'all give a fucked up situation a second chance, a third chance, a fourth chance, instead of just seeing for what it is. Okay? He cheated. I understand men make their mistakes the whole 9 yards. If you do not see any form of redemption, not just correction, but redemption in that situation, he should not get a second chance. But because he said, I'm sorry, this is why it happened, I won't do it again, and you don't want to go out here because social media keeps telling you the dating pool has pee in it, y'all go ahead and deal with the same guy again.
Yeah.
And you have to understand the dating pool does not really have pee in it. You keep going to the same terrible pool. That's the problem. You keep going to the same pool looking for the same problems that you've grown accustomed to because you have a toxic bond to it. It's familiarity. You don't know how to not deal with it, or you're not healed yourself from the previous situation. So you're like, well, I'm going to show him that I don't need him. And you're immediately going to go ahead and jump into a situation. And then the final thing that I've noticed that a lot of women do, specifically black women, I can't say all women because I only be around black women, so I'm only talking to y'all. Y'all have to change the narrative of allowing the conversation of, well, what can you do for me, be the deciding factor of how y'all choose who y'all date. It is so many women that I hear from on a daily basis who is money, 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 money. Social media, if he's not buying this, if he's not paying for this, if he's not doing that. If you actually lead with yourself being just a good woman, that guy's gonna do all that.
But
regardless.
you know what? And I'm gonna say this, and I absolutely wholeheartedly like my thought process with relationships and things like that. I go back and forth because I absolutely agree with what you're saying, Tom. Like I absolutely, but I also know that where I am guilty of that. You know what I'm saying? Like you could have just slapped me and you know what I'm saying? Bianca, I'm talking about you. Because I've been there. You know, like you said, all of us have been there. And then so but then there's also the point where like somebody said something about there was a post and somebody said it had something about money, and it had something about I put the fucking post up, and the young lady, she was basically asking the man, she said why when like I have sweats and shit on, like a dude, like she didn't get it, like why a dude, you know, like dudes like just be like, you know what I'm saying? So they gave their answer, and then at the end of the thing, like everybody was all up into it until the end of the video, and she said something about, you know, we don't care about you know, what y'all got on, blase skip, you know, do y'all eat ass? All we want to know is, do y'all eat ass? Do you pay bills? Blah blah blah. So that right there is an example of what you're saying, Tone, is that women lead with that.
Right. Relationships this day and age.
But this is my thing. And this was what my thought process is. Because at this point, I have been with men who have not had any money. I have been with men that I have I have helped, I have, you know, and that's just because that's me. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just me. You know, if it's not hurting me or my children to help you out, somebody that, you know, I'm busting it open for, like you know, he should be able to assist me as well. You know, it's not a, you know, give type of situation. I'm fine with that. You know what I'm saying? But however, when I'm looking at a man, I may not say this out loud. I will never say this out loud. That I'm thinking of a man and I'm saying, oh, well, he, you know, you're going to be able to take care of me. But the thought process is, I want somebody who is stable. I just realized I ain't had no earrings on. I want somebody who is stable, that will be able to protect me, that will be able to take care of me if needed. Now
I'll give you that. That is the number one correct answer for that type of situation.
Ding, 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 ding.
I said what I said.
Unfortunately, that's not what they're doing publicly now.
Right.
They're wanting you to pay for their wants. And if you can't pay for their wants, you're not relationship material.
Yeah.
Okay. But this is what I think is happening too, because I do see this a lot. People will they'll see a meme or they'll hear a comment or a splice of like a sound bite of like a, you know, something. And then they'll take that and they're like, oh yeah, everybody see, that's why I don't see the women. And it's just like, wait a minute, you know, that's not a determining factor either. What we have to do is we have our own standards and we have our non-negotiables and, you know, what we will do, what we won't do, whatever. And we need to hold those personal to ourselves. And whoever we are dealing with, we need to hold those red flags, those green flags, whatever, personal to, us, and observe them and because it's crazy because we're just like judging.
We're just going.
We're just passing judgment for sport at this point.
It's because, and this is it took me a while to figure this out. I don't know where this happened, but somewhere on the line, we lost a universal standard of dating.
Yeah.
There is not a universal standard for dating anymore. There is nobody sitting here saying collectively that this is what must be brought to the table if you want to date a Black woman. This is what must be presented to the table to be desirable for a Black man. There's nothing out here that there's a streamlined standard. It's to the point right now where you're horny if you publicly say, I wish I had a man. 27 niggas will jump in your DM, and now you can choose which one that you want to sleep with. And because that one guy got lucky that day, now he feels like this is how I have to approach every woman going forward.
Right.
Nobody's correcting that narrative.
Yeah.
Number two, you got men who are leading with their dick because there's women that are saying, okay, I'll take that. That's all I need right now. Have a nice day. You have women who are not asking to be wined and dined anymore. You have women that are not saying, my requirements to date me is this. It's like, we talked for 7 days. We fucked. We're a couple now. That is literally, that is what's happening.
Yeah.
And nobody is going back to put collectively, we all need to reset the dating pool. Just like any regular pool, if it's pee in there, what do you normally do in a regular pool?
You got to clean it out.
Drain it and you start over.
You got to clean it out.
And that's what we're not doing. We're all just jumping back in it.
Yeah. And that's why, somebody said that this topic was toxic. That this topic was, and I said, I don't feel that it's toxic.
It's not.
Because my thing was, okay, so everybody's situation is different. You know what I'm saying? Y'all know my situation. I was in a relationship for 5 years. I come out of a relationship, and not that I came out of a relationship, but y'all know he passed.
You had to start over.
I had to start over. And so with that being said, there were certain things, like I said, there are some people that I say to them, or the guys I say, I want to go on a date. I want you to, this is what I like. This is what I like. Flowers. I like, this, that, and the third. And it is just as simple as coming and bringing a bitch some flowers. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Do you know how far you can go? If we're friends on social media and I'm trying to get with you, the first thing that I'm going to do, I'm going to pay attention to your social media. And this goes for the women too.
Yeah.
And this goes for the, what I'm saying? I'm not talking about stalking your page.
But
I'm definitely not talking. I'm just, you
like
pay attention to what people,
what
you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
so
true.
if I know that Tiffany, like her locks oiled, and I'm trying to get Tiffany to bust it wide open, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to probably... Maybe I'll post some stuff about some lock oil. Maybe I'll, I'll just make an effort to show like, hey, you know what I'm saying? I'm digging you. You know what I'm saying? But you don't get that these days. You get, like I said before to you, you get a million. Oh, you so pretty. I know I'm pretty. Thank you.
Right.
I appreciate the compliment. I absolutely appreciate the compliment. However, I would like there has to be some type of action, because at the end of the day, I'm gonna forget about you. And I posted that the other day, and I said, once your name goes down too far in the messages, who are you?
Right.
I'm gonna need to know who you are again.
Because if you're not maintaining communication, what are we doing?
You
obviously are not interested, so we don't need to maintain contact.
Exactly.
And
but then you go to the point where you're like, oh damn, where I'm feeling him, and he's really not giving me what I need. So when we talk about that, we want to reset the roster. We want to do things differently this go round. you know, like I said, somebody said that this topic was it's the roster. Oh, it's a red flag. I don't think it's a red flag, because who am I in all of my greatness? Who am I to think that upon meeting you, you're the only person that I'm talking to? Or you're the, you know, I'm the only person that you're talking to.
And then I feel too, if you get to that point where you are starting to wonder, oh, I wonder who else this person is talking to, then there needs to be another conversation about, okay, I want to progress to another level now, and we need to be in a committed relationship. So that's where we have the confusion, because it's like, okay, you have that the talking stage where it's like, okay, we're friends and we're just kind of, you know, seeing what's up. We're gauging our compatibility.
Then you got the fucking stage.
You know, and then you move from that to like, okay, you just talking. You don't care who else they, you know, messing with. It's like, okay, we do what we do. We link when we link. And it's like, okay, I'm not worried about what you're doing on outside of me. But then once you start worrying, like, okay, I like this person's company. What else? Who else are they dealing with? I want to be the only one. Then there needs to be an honest conversation about
emotional damage.
Like, I feel like we need to go to another level.
I'm glad you hit that button, because I'm my 2 cents of this is I agree with you. I agree with you on that. There does need to be honest conversation, starting from intentions to execution to let's go to exclusivity.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
We don't have that conversation with exclusivity, and we don't have that conversation to take the worries out of multiple people, which is why you do end up having these girls who don't trust the guy they date, and where I have to go through your phone while you sleeping because you didn't give her the confidence to believe that you are the only one she's dealing with. Like you say, you can be on the phone on somebody's line all day, every day. I can literally be at work texting all 9 hours while I'm texting, talking to you. And the minute I clock out, I can roll over and be laying right next to somebody else. It doesn't take long for situations to change. Especially if you're really talking to somebody and you know their maneuvers. It's easy to be able to take advantage and do what you need to do. I'm speaking from experience, because I've done that before. I'm openly honest to admit that I was a fuck nigga at one point in time in my life.
You was what?
I was a fuck nigga at one point in time in my life.
What?
Oh,
I was a fuck nigga.
I was a habitual ghoster.
I was a hoe.
I was a love bomber. I was a gaslighter. And even though I hate people who do that, the one thing I can say about us as Sages is either we all in or we all out.
Yeah.
I can literally, like, we could date. We could just literally not been talking to each other because life's been life. And next thing you know, we ain't talked to each other in 5 years. I can run into you again 5 years later, and the exact motion, feeling, and mindset I had the last time, I'm exactly the same place. It's like we never lost anything. That's just how I move. So one thing that I feel like a lot of people need to do is, one, be honest up front. I get it. You just want to fuck. Men will say this all the time, but if we tell y'all that, you're going to be all mad at us. No. She's mad at you. Right. That doesn't mean the next girl won't be mad at you. So be honest up front, everything in regards to it.
And honesty doesn't have to be rude.
It does not.
There is, you don't understand. See, one thing about me is I have a way with words. There's a way I can be so fucking freaky, yet so eloquent at the same time. Okay? I can literally.
I would like to lick on the lapels.
Not that.
Of your
unless we got that kind of humor, you're not getting that out of me. But one thing I also want people to do is don't be ashamed to speak on your insecurities. A lot of times we go into situations not completely healed from the past one, but we don't want to deal with it by ourselves. So sometimes you do want someone else to let you know that you're grieving over this situation over here. Doesn't mean that somebody died. Just means that this situation is dead.
Over.
And you're grieving over that, but you may need to be with somebody new to have an understanding that, that really wasn't all that, fam.
Right.
You really just didn't know no better here, but it's looking good over here. You know what I'm saying? Like, this over here is the shit. You just had a regular burger that you always got as a kid, but this is from Nate Young, my guy.
Right.
This is real steak here, my nigga.
Yeah.
So sometimes you got to go through that, but you still got to be honest. Like, when you order the steak, look, I've never had a steak before. I don't know how this is. I'm new to this. And then I want the other people to be gentle with that information.
Right.
Because there'll be a lot of times where a guy never had to do real dating. He always had them, oh, she always liked me and we was cool with just Netflixing and chilling, or we did all these little things here, but I never had to plan anything serious.
And you know what? And that was that was the thing, when I was in a relationship, and getting to that point of me and him, before we even said, we're together. I said to him, I said, you have to take me on dates. Like, I like to go places. I like to do things. I like to get dressed up. Because one thing about me is that when I'm home, she don't look like this.
Right.
And I work from home the majority of the time. So the majority of the time I'm in sweats, I'm in a t-shirt, I'm in leggings, I'm in, you know what I'm saying? So I like to go out and I like to get dressed up. I like to get cute. I like PDA. I like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I like for my man to look at me like, oh, you know what I'm saying? You look good. I'm gonna take you back to the house and fuck the shit out of you. I like that type of shit. You know what I'm saying? We're gonna have a wonderful night, sir. But I think that, like you said, like, we have to be very open and we have to be honest about what the expectations are.
Right. And number two, stop. I'm not saying all women do this, but I just noticed it a lot lately. Stop belittling his ignorancy. I don't mean him being stupid. I mean him not knowing that certain things that you like to do are done. I have seen so many women say, well, he's a grown ass man. He should know that already.
Oh, listen, let's stick a pin in that right there, because you said something. And again, the last relationship I was in, that's really, what I go by, because that relationship to me was really a learning point on how to actually love a man through all of his bullshit. And that particular relationship is something that, like, in that relationship, I had to not say, and I had to acknowledge that this man really doesn't know how to love, a woman. Like, and he would even say it to me, like, I've never met a woman like you. I've never seen, or I've never been with a woman like you. And I'm like, what do you mean? You know what I'm saying? And I find it so funny, like, when men say, why you so soft? What the fuck you mean? Why I'm so soft? Like, I was telling my auntie that today. My cousin gonna say to me, she could say, damn, you soft. I said, what the hell?
And you live in your emotions.
That's true.
That's what it is. You live in your emotions.
So that means that my body's soft too?
I don't know. I
Because
don't touch you like
about,
that.
Well, that's what she was talking about, my body.
Okay, well, damn, I don't touch. I can't answer that one. But
this is true.
They kind of go hand in hand, though. You have to understand, every man's experience with a woman is not universally the same.
Right.
You may came from a household where the mom is an aggressor. My mom was very demanding, controlling up front. So to see a soft, gentle, submissive, and I really hate that word, but it's the only way I can describe it that people understand.
I don't.
I hate it because people misinterpret what it means.
That's true. I was just going to say, people don't get it.
They don't get it. They think submissive as in housemaid / slave,
right?
Not someone who
help me.
Yeah, right. Which I think is another reason why so many people want their mothers and women want financial, providers, because they don't understand the lingo. But getting back to that, he may have been dealing with independent, strong women who didn't take shit. So to have a woman who is soft, gentle, takes care of her skin, shows her emotions, expresses herself, loves on you. Okay. A lot of men don't know what love feels like.
Right.
So when we get to these situations, we don't know how to handle them. It's like giving us a puppy for the very first time and we ain't never dealt with a pet. We don't know how to love this thing, right? Because we don't know what to expect.
Mhm.
I'm not calling y'all puppies, but that's
Right.
realistically, that's probably the
Mhm.
best example of a person who's never had been loved on. It's like getting a puppy for the first time. So we don't know what to expect from y'all in these scenarios, but yet a lot of times, because you dealt with so many different fucked up mentality men
Mhm.
or untrustworthy human beings,
Mhm.
when you get someone who is genuinely ready to learn, a lot of times y'all don't know how to teach,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
it creates a bad scenario.
Yeah. And then there's the thing where um a little bit I think we talked about the last time, but we talked about where we have to understand the ways that somebody accepts and feels love. We have to be cognizant of that. I can't get into a relationship or a situation with somebody and I can't just say, I love you, I love you, I love you verbally.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I can't and expect for them to take that and okay, that's enough. For me, that's not enough. You can't just tell me you love me. You got to put some action behind it.
Mhm.
I like I said, I like flowers. I like, you know what I'm saying? Things like that. Just, I walk past and you just rub me on my booty. I like that. You know what I'm saying? So that's something that you have to, because of the fact that everybody doesn't accept love or doesn't know love the same way. They could be saying, "Oh, I'm trying, but are you really? You're just doing what you think I like.
Mhm.
You're not really paying attention to what I like
Yeah.
and moving that way."
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that I can really be happy.
Yeah. I came across the video recently where they were talking about that, and they were
Was
saying,
I in the video?
Were you in the video? No.
Oh, okay. Because lately something got leaked. I just want to make sure.
Oh,
You
my
had a
goodness.
leaked video?
No.
Oh, I was gonna say
no.
pause. Hold on, put this shit on pause. Let's talk. No.
But they
no,
were
anything to
talking-
me that's out there is out there on purpose.
Uh-oh.
Okay.
But they were talking about that what you just said, where most people will love on the person how they know, or
Mhm.
give them what's in them, as opposed to studying them and
Mhm.
giving them what it is that they need.
Mhm.
And there was a lot of talk, I know a few months ago, there was a resurfacing about the love languages.
Mhm.
And the book actually came out in like 94.
Yeah.
It was by Dr. Gary Chapman. And he was talking about the 5 different love languages
Mhm.
and the different ways that we receive love and the different ways that we give love. And it is so important. And like the fact that we call it a love language is important too, because it is a language.
Mhm.
The way that you love is definitely your
talks
language.
to you.
And if
Mhm.
you don't speak in their language, they're not going to translate it correctly. You know?
Absolutely.
And that's why a lot of people feel like, oh, okay, well, my man don't love me. And they're like, well, what do you mean? I do this, I do this, I do that, and I do that. Well, it's like, okay, well, that's not the language I speak in.
Exactly.
So I didn't understand it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so that's really important. How we give and how we receive.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we got to study the other person and make sure that we're, giving them what they need. What we want to give them is not what they need.
It may not be what they need.
No.
And so when we're, resetting the roster and we're fresh and we're, is there anything that and I know, a year, they're like, oh, a year is not that much time, but a year, really, when you think about it, a lot takes place within a year.
Mm-hmm.
So some things that you may have been looking for last year may not be the same thing that you're looking for this year. Last year I kind of felt like, hey, it is what it is. I'm just going with the flow. I really don't want to go with the flow. I think that I'm a little bit too old to go with the flow. Because I really want to move with intention. And there was, there is a time when I said that I wanted to move with intention, and I was just speaking in a way of other things, not my children, my job, but I really want to move with intention. Now, that's not being said that if I have a situation and it's just, We just knocking the boots. That's fine.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, you know what I'm saying? If that's something that I feel like I want, you know what I'm saying? It may not be something, you know, that I feel like I want. Like I said, right now at this point, I don't think that that's something that I want anymore. You know, I think I want something more exclusive. I would like for something more defined. You know what I'm saying? You don't have to be walking around here shouting to the rooftops, you my man. You know, but I just want to know, like I said, that there's nobody else. I don't have to worry about you with somebody else. You know what I'm saying?
Committed. It's like, okay,
yeah, because we fucking and shit
here, right? Don't have me looking crazy.
And I be fucking.
And I listen. If we taking care of each other, don't have me out here looking crazy. For real. Because
don't let me find out anything that I should not find out from you. And that was, you know, the situation that I had, you know, just recently. Well, not just recently, but the situation that I had, you know, that was, you know, I was talking to Tone, and, you know, just like you got rules, I got rules. You know what I'm saying? And if you can't abide by my rules and I'm abiding by your rules, then what the fuck are we doing here? You know, it's not, it has to be, for me, it has to be fair in every situation. If it's not serving to you, then you are able to get away. If it's not serving for me, then I need to move around as well. You know what I'm saying? Tone.
What up, though?
What do you think that men need to do because earlier you talked about that we need to, with resetting the dating pool, that we really need to reset and we need to set boundaries on what we will and what we won't accept from the opposite sex.
Okay.
What do you think is one of or a couple of those things that needs to be immediately striked out? Let's get a list going. Let's strike this shit out for 2023.
That men need to do to fix it.
Roster season. What are we going to do that we are going to, that men are going to say for women? I am setting a boundary. This is what I do not want in a woman.
Okay. Number one, we need to have
Misha.
Honest, open dialogue. Okay. Number one, like, if I present myself to you, for an example, and I want to talk to you, tell me you're not interested. And I don't mean in the sense of like you're turning me down or whatnot. I mean, like, if you know for a fact that this is not going to be something long-term, let it be known. Don't do we could go on a couple of dates and I can see what. Hold on.
What if we don't know?
That's why I said I'll let you get a couple of dates, because sometimes you don't know in the beginning. Sometimes you do need to step outside your comfort zone to see, well, you know what? I kind of never looked at Tone like that. Let's see, you know, maybe if we are outside the normal environment we see each other in, we might see each other a little bit differently, or whatever the case may be. But after a while, after we're communicating, let us know. If we do something that offended you, triggered you, or just say something inappropriate, stop the ghosting. Like, both sides dead to ghosting. Communicating, just say, look, when we were on that date the other day, I just could not understand why you constantly kept talking about your ex. Apparently you're not over them correctly, so we can be friends. But right now I can't see dating you because you're still in the place of insert whatever person name is here, and you need to either get over that or know how to move away from that. I don't have time to deal with that. Okay. 2, we need to get back to dating with intent. Okay. We have to get back to the point where we're not just out here dating as placeholders. I understand it's the summertime. Okay. We all outside. But if you know for a fact that you see this girl's and the sun's out and her bun's out, don't waste that girl's time.
Right.
Okay? Don't waste their time. If you know for a fact that you entertaining her for the summer, but as soon as the fall come back around, you done
back with your baby mama.
You back wherever you at. don't waste that girl time.
Right.
If you can't upfront tell her what's going on with you personally and she accepts it, don't waste her time making her pretend like it's going to be more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? Plain and simple. Number 3, this actually probably should have been number 1. Make sure your affairs are in order before you start dating. Okay?
Big one.
And I don't even mean your affairs in regards to you're still hung up on your baby mama or anything like that. No, it's not cheap to date for a man. Because for every single woman that you talk to, you got to take that woman out on a date.
Right.
Can you really afford to date multiple women?
Yeah.
Like truly afford to. Okay, because remember, everyone.
Let's be honest with ourselves.
Okay,
Right.
let's be honest.
Mhm.
A lot of us can't afford to date anybody.
Right.
Yet and still, we want to go and try.
Mm-hmm.
It was literally a girl who was very much interested in me, and I was kind of interested in her. But I knew financially at this point in my life, because I was doing entirely too much, I couldn't afford to date her. I didn't waste her time.
But I think, okay, I'll let you.
No, go ahead.
But I think that, like, I get what you're saying, and I, I've talked to men who have said, "Oh, I don't want to get into a situation because I'm not financially stable." And number one, I absolutely respect that. I absolutely respect that. But number 2, I feel like when you're getting into a situation with somebody, you're more so the situation, like a date can be anything.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be.
You know what I mean?
No, y'all
Okay.
can't say that.
Okay.
You wanna know why you can't
Why?
say that?
Why?
Because if some of the first dates we took y'all on, because you got to remember, not every single person is sentimental.
Mm-hmm.
It's not every single person is about the thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
So if I sat here and I took you to a picnic in the park, even though I might have put all this detail into it, a lot of times, I won't say that, 45% of the time, the woman is going to be like, this broke ass nigga.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying all of them now.
But you
Saying
know
9 times out of
that
10.
was the person for you if they were to approach
Yeah.
that like that, and that's something
But
that you want to do.
and this is the thing
But
though.
this is
Right,
what-
exactly. You have to learn that person.
But this
though.
is the first date.
okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
This is the first
okay.
date now.
Uh-huh.
So of course, I want to take you on a date, but I know my finances. I'm taking you what your friend said. He can't afford to date. He don't want to date. Want to get himself on it. Because for every single dollar we spend on y'all to date y'all, to get to know y'all better, to get to this point of exclusivity, that has to be residual income. It can't be money we're taking from our household.
That's true.
So if I'm taking you out on a date and just the whole process of this date runs me about $200. Okay, now we all know that $200 conversation has gone everywhere.
Right.
The
Right.
actual cost of the date may not be nothing. Literally went on a date not too long ago with a homegirl, her and her 2 kids. We went to Chili's. Total date was about maybe $70. But that doesn't mean that maybe I had to get a new outfit that day because I didn't do laundry yet. Maybe I had to go get a haircut. That's another $20 to $40 on top
You
of
took
that.
her and her kids on the date too?
We've been
Shit, I got 4 kids. Let's go.
No, just play.
there's a lot that was going. Well, really, it wasn't a date. But
Uh-huh.
the fact that it was, we went out to eat,
Mm-hmm.
it still can be considered a date based on some people.
Mm-hmm.
She's had a lot going on in her personal life. Something
Oh, that's
really
sweet.
made
You so sweet.
something really just major happen that affected baby girl. So I'm like, come on, let's just y'all need to get y'all mind. Let's
Did
go.
you get some pussy?
Stay out of my business.
Okay. We'll
Okay.
talk later.
Stay out of my business. So we all went out. We had a conversation.
Dante says you preacher.
Okay. That's why I don't want to look at the comments because the comments are going to distract me. So, but that situation may not have been inexpensive.
Mm-hmm.
But what if it took away from paying my cell phone bill?
Right.
What if it took away from paying my utility bills for that month? What if it took away from TDR?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I just had to hit y'all up the other day because I had a situation I had to take care of.
Mm-hmm.
It was me just being impatient.
Right.
But
Right.
it's a simple fact that, but what if that wasn't the case?
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
So now I'm trying to help you get out of a funk, yet I'm creating my own problem
Mhm.
over here.
Mhm.
And then let's say we do become a couple. you have this expectation now.
Mhm.
That's the thing about dating. Men create the expectations of what a woman can expect from him.
Mhm.
So I can't be a broke nigga trying to give you an expectation that I know I can't maintain.
That you can't
You're gonna
maintain,
only
right.
take so many picnics
Right.
before
This
you
is
gonna
true.
be like, my nigga,
This is
where's the
true.
steakhouse?
And you know what? And you know when to that, I wanted to say I was gonna do a round robin, but I wanted to say just really quickly that one thing that I think women can do, is believe him when he says what he says.
That was gonna be my next one.
Oh well, shit, we on it then.
Right.
But believe him when we do, like you said before, we do a lot of I see you for potential, I see this and I see that. When that man tells you, I don't want a relationship, believe that man when he says, I don't want a relationship. You see what I'm saying? Because a lot of us, we think that we can love on a man and we can woo them.
And they don't, and I hear reports all the time or whatever conversations where they say men don't fall in love the same way that we do.
We don't.
So just like how, let's say we can meet a guy and let's say he may not be the handsomest, you know, we may not necessarily be, interested in them right away or whatever, but we interact with them a little bit and they're the funniest person ever, super smart, and they're they love on us, they're really like whatever. And so we fall in love with them, right? They do some stuff and they show us who they are. We fall in love. But I've heard over and over and over again that men don't fall in love from like getting stuff. They fall in love from doing stuff. And so for them to fall in love with us,
that's partially true.
I think
we don't necessarily fall in love from doing stuff. We fall in love for y'all appreciating us for doing stuff.
I was just gonna say that. I think that men are more so, they fall in love with the doing of the woman. So if you do if he does something for me and I appreciate and I show him that I appreciate, or if he feels that, and I've had I've had some men tell, oh, I can talk to you, I can trust you. When a man, for me, and this is just me, and Tone, you could tell me if I'm wrong, but I think that for a woman, when a man tells you that they trust you, especially in these days, I think that's top tier. And I think that that's something that is really, women should not take that lightly. Because when somebody tells me, or when a man, like I had a guy tell me, oh, I just love you so much. Now, mind you, me and this particular guy, we have not, like, we literally have not dealt with each other like on a consistent level. Like I may see him 10 years and and then see him another 10 years, and then it's all back again. And it's been that way ever since I've interacted, I've met him since high school.
Okay.
And so that man will literally say, oh, I love you so much. I love you so much. And the last time I said, why do you keep telling me that? Because for me, I don't like when people tell me you love me. Because you don't.
Excuse me?
No, I'm not talking about you, because I love, but I don't like when people tell me that they love me because they want me in a certain capacity. And you think that because you know that, and I don't know, maybe he felt like he did. But when I asked him and I said, why do you keep telling me that? Oh, because I do. And I said, now mind you, I really didn't give this guy no, because this was the guy that I said that I think, but he crossed the boundaries. He crossed he fucked up the boundaries. And so, oh, I love you. And I'm like, dude, like, what do you mean that you love me? Like, we literally have not even spent that much time for you to love me. Oh, well, I can trust you, and I can, oh, well, you know that you can trust me, and you know that I, all of this good shit, but you love me. But the reason that we stopped talking this last time, and I'm talking about, maybe months or maybe a year ago. It's been about maybe a year or so ago. But we stopped talking because I didn't hear from you for 2 weeks. But you love me. You know what I'm saying?
Sometimes things happen.
No, things don't happen.
Not for 2 weeks.
Because I guarantee you sat your ass on the toilet and you took a shit and you had your phone in your hand.
You want me to text you while we shit?
I don't give a damn what you do. But
That's
2 weeks,
wild.
I should never not hear from somebody that you claim that you would like to build something with me, and I don't hear from you for 2 weeks.
Okay, that building part does make a difference.
You know what I'm saying? You want to be with me, or I want to be your man, or I want to marry you. I'm gonna marry you. No, the fuck you're not.
Wait, hold on now.
Yeah.
How do we know he wasn't closing some final chapters?
Fuck that.
No, I mean we got to give it the benefit of the. I understand.
You know
from
what?
you.
And you know what?
Now that we're out the situation,
Yeah.
we can dissect it.
Uh-huh.
Sometimes, and he should have said something.
Mhm.
Okay, I will not, stand up for that. Communication is key. That's always been my biggest thing. Hell, my whole fucking business is about communication.
Right.
So I'm always going to be about communication.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, maybe he had to close some doors. A lot of times we do still have
He was
things
a light
we had.
skin too.
See, stop doing that. Stop doing that.
I
Stop
don't
doing
like
that.
light skin. I'm just playing.
But maybe he has some doors to close. For an example, like sometimes I may still have someone that I'm held on to, someone who I still had hopes, those potentials that sometimes you guys date, that you want to just go and make sure that if I pull the trigger on this relationship, even though I know 100% this is who I want, this is who I want to be with, I don't want any what ifs to come up.
And see, that's the thing, because I guess, they always say that you shouldn't expect a you from somebody else, because that's the thing, that I don't operate in that manner.
Yeah.
I don't, like if I'm done with you, I'm done. Like literally, like I have this thing with myself, and that's, and it comes down like somebody that I like. And if that situation is not working, and I've said that this ain't gonna work 3 times out my mouth, because I talk to myself.
Me too.
But if I've
Got to.
said that to myself, that this is not gonna work, after that 3rd time, it's just not gonna work, and I'm done. You know what I'm saying? I don't like I don't like playing with people.
Yeah.
Because I don't like people playing with me. And then my hands get to shake when you play with me, and I don't know what's gonna happen after that. You know what I'm saying? But like I said, I think that women, we have to understand. We have to try to understand men a little bit better. Because when you think about it, I remember the conversations that I had with Glenn and just, some other men, and they would say how hard life is for them. The expectation that a man is supposed to take care of you, a man is supposed to do all of this, but then us as women, we're just supposed to be princesses. And let me say this. I want to be a princess. I absolutely do. Like I have the like my mother lives princess life. They've been married now for 27 years. My mother lives princess life. And when I say that, I mean that she doesn't have to take out the trash. If she tells her husband, Pops, if she tells him that she wants him to do something, he does it. She doesn't have to say to him, I want a new purse. He goes and he buys her a new purse. You see what I'm saying? She doesn't, from what I know, she doesn't put gas in her car. She doesn't, you know what I'm saying? So that's the example that I grew up with. And that's the example that I have. However, and I had another conversation with somebody in regards to their husband. And the conversation was, it was totally different. Whereas my mother, she's more humble. You know, I'm, you know, she's humble. She doesn't ask for much. She doesn't, you know. And then the conversation that I had with this one person was, you know, because my man, he don't do, you know, it was more so, you know, I'm so much better than, you know, this because I'm a princess and I don't know how to pump the gas. And I don't want to be that.
Yeah.
I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that woman who does not know how to do something without a man.
Yeah.
I want a man to be able to be a man because I want you to be able to be a man.
Yeah.
I want you to be able to, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, I want you to know, like, hey, I got you. You know what I'm saying? If you sick, you can't take out the fucking trash. Guess who's gonna take out the trash? Exactly. I'm not gonna take out the trash, but one of these kids gonna take out the trash.
Like, I know what pan to go in.
Yeah, but if I need to, I'm gonna do that. If I need to put some oil in my car, I shouldn't have to worry about putting oil in my car. But guess what? If you're gone and you're sick, I know how to do it.
Yep.
You know what I'm saying? I think that women, we need to make sure that we are requiring the same thing of ourselves. They ain't gonna like this.
Them.
We need to require the same thing from ourselves that we require from men.
Talk to them.
If you say that I want a man to assist me when I'm down, you have to be the same type of woman. I get you being a woman and you being, you know, letting a man do his thing. But you letting a man do his thing is also coming to his defense and have. And my mama said one thing today, and I'm, you know, because we had a whole thing for my mom today. But she said one thing to my pops. She said to him, she said that no matter what, I got your back. No matter what, I got your back. And that's not to say that I'm just finna be out here just, you know what I'm saying, willy-nilly, just, you know, taking care of everything. But you need to know and that I got your back. So whatever I'm asking of you, I'm gonna do for you.
Yeah. Even that whole like paying bills thing. Like when I hear it, I cringe.
They got all down on Gabrielle Union.
Because for one, I look at it like I wouldn't even expect a man that I'm not with, in love with, talking to, whatever, to pay my bills.
I don't,
So I'm not coming, I'm not showing up with no, oh, you gotta pay my bills energy. That is cringy.
And for me, the thing was, I've always had the mindset of, and even with my children's fathers, anything that you do is going to be extra. Because everything is already taken care of over here. You know, and if I, you know, sometimes shit get hard. And I may have to be like, hey, Nate, I'm in a bind, Nate. You know, but at the end of the day, if you decide to do something for me, it's going to be extra.
For real. For real. If that whole narrative about, you know, because we, like you were saying, we have a whole bunch of expectations and there's a whole bunch of memes and buzzwords. But when the dust settles, I'm gonna have my man back. Like you listen, you're not coming home and ain't no meal. If we living together and we come on, if you paying bills, what are you talking about? You're not coming home. And you ain't
I mean, really, honestly, we don't even have to live together.
Seriously,
you know what I'm saying? Like, if I like you like that,
if I like
I'm gonna fix you something to eat. When you get off of work, I'm gonna tell you to come by my crib. I got you dinner. Yeah,
job.
But at the same time, I need you to understand that groceries cost.
Exactly.
Sister girl don't get food stamps. Okay, I'm gonna need you to come through a couple times. You know what I'm saying?
So if they looking out, like I would never in my right mind have a man looking out for me and doing for me, and I'm not kicking back and reciprocating. That wouldn't even make sense. That wouldn't sit right with me. I wouldn't know what to do. You know what I mean? So even just the whole, like, you know, okay, if you looking out for me, I'm gonna do everything in my power to make sure that that's reciprocated.
Absolutely.
You know?
Absolutely. And I think that that's something that we definitely have to make sure that, and I think on both ends, and it's so hard, like I said earlier, because we're everybody's hurt. Nobody wants to take that leap. Nobody wants to say, you know what, fuck this. I like you. I don't want you fucking nobody else.
Right.
I don't want you talking to nobody else. I just want you to be me. It just be me and you. And we figure this shit out at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's the big thing, is that everybody has to be able to reciprocate. And that's another word. It's a buzzword that's thrown around, but nobody understands. Nobody really understands the value of the reciprocation, or they don't even realize how to actually reciprocate.
They don't.
It's not just only that, because you do have some people who will come out with their intent. I like you. I want you. You're the only person I want to do this with. Let's do this. Sometimes the other person looks at it as controlling. Oh, so you just want me to drop all my hoes for you? And you're trying to control the narrative. People are so scared of trusting.
Yeah.
That's another thing too. So many people are so scared of trusting one individual with
I can't put all my eggs in one basket.
All the responsibilities to be the one to hold them down.
Right.
That they will fight tooth and nail to not even go there. Like you'll have some women who will not want to 100% commit to this dude because they want to still keep that connection to their child's father, not realizing you don't have to have that. You don't have to be connected to him for him to still be a dad.
Right.
You know, y'all can co-parent like bosses and never have that problem. Then you also have those individuals who they don't want that much responsibility on them. So even though you can say, hey, I want it to be just me and you, it has nothing to do with safety and sex or anything like that, because of course that's a big concern.
Right.
But it's more so like, I want you to be someone I can depend on, as well as you want me to be somebody. Either way it goes, we in this together. And I might be like, I don't want to have that much responsibility. You have 4 kids. I have 2. That is a lot. You know? So there is always the fear of commitment that a lot of people run from as well too, which makes people not tie themselves into it, unfortunately. And I hate that for people, because there'll be some dope relationships that could possibly happen.
That
Don't happen out of fear or not wanting to step out your comfort zone, or just listening to other people who ain't got shit to do with your everyday life.
You
know?
Ooh, child, listen.
That's a whole nother conversation. That's a whole other show.
One thing I want to say too is that a lot of people look at reciprocation as being tick for tack.
And
it's not tick for tack. It's not, oh, you did this for me, so I got to turn around today. I got to do this for you, do this for you. No, a real woman, one thing that we need to understand as real women, we're not just, and even men to understand that when a real woman gets something, it's not just for the sake of spoiling me. It's not just for the sake of just giving me something, right? Whatever you give me, I would hope that I could take it in and multiply it and then give it back
to you.
Because true reciprocation, true love, like y'all, when you guys gift us with things or whatever, the love that you guys put into us is supposed to be returned. Even if it's, oh, well, I bought her something and blah, 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 blah. Okay, well, yeah, then when you're sick, I got your bag. You're not gonna have to worry about nothing. So I'm taking care of you, and now I'm gonna make you whatever, and you don't have to worry about no, food and whatever. So the reciprocation, it should always be like whatever my man and somebody I love or whoever I'm dating, whatever they give me, I want to make sure that I'm receiving that and then multiplying it in a way to give them back like nothing they give me will ever just die with
you
me.
Just gave it to me.
It should never be that. It should never be that. Whatever you give me will be multiplied and returned. I don't care what it is.
And then I think the other thing too is that we have to make sure that we're showing the appreciation. A lot of times women, and I can only speak about this because I'm a woman. And you know, I listen to women talk, and I have friends and things like that. And I think that a lot of times that we're not very appreciative of the things that the men in our lives do for us.
Yeah.
And I think that that's a wane on a man's spirit. Like we said, you know, when a woman appreciates what a man does, that makes him want to do that even more.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? It's the little things. I always say it's the little things. It's and for me, I absolutely mean that. It's absolutely the little things for me. I've had, you know, men do lots of grand gestures.
Yeah.
You know, but then you turned around, you know, because of, you know, I've been in some terrible relationships, but you've done some grand gestures and then you turned around and you cuss me out. You see what I'm saying?
It's completely negating the whole everything.
Yeah, that it does not mean anything to
Yeah.
me. I had somebody, you know, I remember one time Glenn bought me a car. He bought me a truck.
Okay, truck.
And at the end of the day, I didn't even want the fucking truck. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I didn't want the truck. What I wanted was to spend time with my man.
Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I wanted to spend time with my man, and I would have been happy and nice and fine if we would maybe, you know, went to Chicago or took a, you know what I'm saying? And so, you know, or, you know, getting flowers or, you know, something like that.
Yeah.
You know, and I think that, you know, we as women, we get so stuck in what a man is supposed to do, what a man is supposed to do for us. But then we don't even show that man simple appreciation for the things that he has done, because we're automatically expecting it. You see what I'm saying? But then we're not even the woman that should even get it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I think that, you know, at the very least, I think that what we need to do is, I think a lot of us need to grow up. I think that we need to just simply, we need to not pay so much attention to what's going on social media.
True.
You know, I would like, you know,
but they can't help it though.
That's true, because we're all on, we're on social, you know,
but still, we
but
need a break or detox.
Yeah, and I think like I would love, like, for this year, like I would love to see people going out on actual dates. I think that's something that maybe we can do. We
Like
can
a
do we can do a challenge, and we can do a date. We can do a date challenge.
I mean, the summertime in Milwaukee is probably the best time.
It is absolutely,
because there's so much shit to
Yeah.
do that's free.
Yes. Yes.
So you can kind of get away with a lot of shit this summer.
Yeah.
Okay, wait. The challenge could be, okay, so like the best, most inexpensive day that you can possibly pull off. Like I have been wanting to do that for a long time.
Now, I like the idea, but that's also subjective.
It is.
Because
what's based
I could
on
take
what's somebody's
you
pockets.
in something. No, it ain't about the
Mhm.
pockets. What you might like or an
Mhm.
experience that you have on a date with me could be a completely different experience that you have, because there's things that you like that's different than what she likes. So I can make your date be phenomenal based on what you like. And to this person, oh, that's basic.
But that's what you're supposed to do.
You're
though.
supposed to cater it to
That's
the person
absolutely
that
what you're
you're
supposed
trying
to
to
do.
take.
But we can't say it's the best date, because I might be looking like, oh, that's basic. I wouldn't do that.
Well,
That's
not the
childish.
best date.
You know what
but
I'm saying?
Not necessarily not
The most memorable date
The
you
most-
went on.
yeah, the
like
most
based on how much
memorable
fun
date.
you guys have
Yeah.
together.
Most memorable date. It also depends on the chemistry of the person too.
Right.
Well, yeah, but you wouldn't ask anybody out. I would
Right.
hope that
No,
you didn't have
hold
anything
on
to
now,
go with.
because there may be someone who's piqued our interest that we
Hmm.
want to take out on the date, compared to someone who I already know is fun.
But has there
Mm-hmm.
been prior conversation?
It could be. That's the whole thing. That's why I said it makes a difference. Like me and Bianca going out on the
Mhm.
date will be a difference than me and you going on a date, because me and her have regular conversations
Mhm.
that I already know what kind of person her behaviors could be. So I know how I can make her laugh, or I know when we're hitting the sentimental moment, or when we're having a sad or
Mhm.
having a deep conversation. I will be learning you brand new.
But that's what you're supposed to do. Every
That
time
doesn't,
you,
but
when
that,
you-
but I'm saying me trying to learn you brand new and yet still give you a good date
So
could
you
go
gonna take?
off
So
wrong.
you gonna take me and Tiff on a date?
There's ways to gauge that though.
I had this conversation over there.
There's ways to gauge that. Like based on conversation, have you been listening to things that she said that she likes? What kind of music did she say that she liked? Maybe you could plan something based on whatever she mentioned. What kind of food she likes? What's her favorite? Like there's ways to.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
How do you handle awkwardness?
How do what?
How do you handle awkwardness?
My own or someone else's or what?
Both. So let's say we on a date.
Grab a dick.
Okay.
Okay. What? What did you say?
I tend to be very, I know you was asking her. I tend to be very goofy in an awkward moment. So I may do a little PDA. You know what I'm saying? To kind of loosen
Even
it up.
if this is you're getting to know the person, you still gonna do that.
No. I will probably, I don't know.
Because your most awkward date would be that first getting to know you date.
Well, that's okay. That's true.
So that's what I'm saying. How do you handle those awkward? Because let's say I'm paying attention to your music. So I know that there's a local concert that has a similar musical taste than what you like.
Okay.
But let's just say this is not my musical taste. But because I'm interested in getting to know you, I'm willing to go on this experience.
Okay.
Okay. Halfway through the first set, I'm not vibing with it, but I'm here because you're loving it.
Okay.
Okay. You notice that I'm awkward. I'm just really not being around this whole thing. How do you react to that?
Okay.
What you gonna do,
So
hold on.
I would ask questions. Are you enjoying this? Whatever. How do you like the band? Have you heard of this band? Whatever. Making conversations because I'm very observant. I can read the room.
That's why I'm asking you.
If I see that someone is feeling away, like people can do things, and I'm like, "Oh, he mad. Oh, he irritated. Oh, she, whatever." So I'm very observant. Okay. So if I see that someone is a little awkward or uncomfortable or whatever, I will maybe ask some questions or maybe see, or try to like indirectly assuage the situation to where, okay, well, let me try to do something creative because I see that he's not in a good mood, he's not feeling this, he's not vibing or whatever, right?
So would you leave? Would you suggest that maybe we should leave?
Okay, so if it's obvious that they're not having a good time, right? Then I mean, yeah. I wouldn't mind you leaving if the person is obviously not having a good time, right? But again, if we're on a date, if we're communicating, if we're interacting, right? Then
you should be able to catch that.
Exactly. I feel like there are signs that will tell you, you got to read the room. A lot of people aren't as observant, maybe. I don't know. But like you gotta
read the room too goddamn much.
You gotta see, like, okay, this person has talked about this, so I know this person will be into this. This person wears Spider-Man shirts. I know she would want to go to, like, what I mean, that kind of stuff. So I mean, it's a lot of people don't want to study their subject and then be confused about why they got an F.
Yep. Hey, say
I like
it.
that. That's a bar.
That is a bar.
I got bars.
Bars. But yeah, I think, but that's that's something that we definitely, I think we should do that. Cause I like challenges.
A dating challenge.
We did the challenge. We did the sex challenge. Why not do a goddamn date challenge? Now, this is something that and before we go, because I got somewhere to be. Before
I had a vitamin D appointment.
Before we go, now maybe we could do not so much as a cheap date, because I don't want it to be I want people to enjoy themselves. You see what I'm saying?
I think it should be a cheap date because then you get the challenge of because people don't want to spend a whole lot of money on the first date, and I'm real big on that. Like if you take me out somewhere on the first date or whatever, you don't have to spend a lot of money on me. Like I want to make sure I like you before you get to spend money on me. Don't play with me.
Now this is the question. I would say do something that you have not done before.
Okay.
On that particular date.
I like that.
What, Tom? because
Say
you're looking.
nothing.
Because you
Just listen.
cheesing over
Right,
there. I don't
right.
I'm not cheesing. Maybe
Well,
my
you have a whole
mind.
lot
Maybe
to
my
say
mind.
afterwards.
Maybe my mind is working.
What is
You
the
don't know.
mozzarella over there? What's
Right.
I'm just
But I
saying.
think-
Maybe my mind is working. I don't know.
That is a really good I think that's a really good challenge.
I like that.
So I think that because for not the next show coming up, but I'm going to because I want to do the Father's Day show. But I think that maybe we should do that in like August, like we'll have until August. I'm going out of town, so I'm going out the country too.
Ooh,
So I'm going to Punta Cana. Child, let me tell you, y'all gonna be sick of me when I go on this trip. Oh, I'm gonna be sick of myself. But yeah, so I think that's a really, really good challenge. I think that we should all challenge ourselves to and this is if you are really looking to find that person. If you're looking to find your person, I'm challenging everyone to go outside of the box. Change the expectations that have been set. Reset the roster. If you are dealing with somebody that is toxic, stop dealing with that person. Because then you cannot complain that you hate dealing with toxic people. I think that we need to reset our mindset when it comes down to love and relationships. And just simply be able to reciprocate the same thing that we are asking. And then we'll check back and we'll see how we came about in August, because that's playoff season. You got the
right.
You got the you going into the fall. You got playoff season, so we'll check back August, September, and see where we at and see what's going on. Okay. What you think, Tone?
I mean, that'll work.
Okay, I'm with it. All right, thank y'all so much for joining us tonight. You can definitely check us out on all streaming platforms. We working on YouTube, so that's coming soon. I got it, but I got some kinks because I was the one that set it up. Boop. And Tone didn't want to help me. But you all
what to do.
It's balderdash. But you all have a wonderful, wonderful evening. Thank y'all so much for tuning in. Have a great night.
Have a great night.